Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here today, and hey, I like the red and the tan. This is looking, with the curls. Oh, man, I'm going to have to wear this more. This is looking good. We are going to be talking about something that needs to be talked about, especially in the dirt racing world. You know, Lucas Oil last year, late model dirt series. Obviously, a lot of people still consider Lucas Oil the 1A series of the late model racing world, and they started a chase for the championship last year. Although, on the topic of 1A, I mean, Bobby Pierce is definitely the shoe leader of a lot of that debate right now, especially after Ricky Thornton Jr. and SSI Motorsports separated. We're going to be talking about that today. I think that's going to play a pivotal point in this championship, that I feel like everyone feels still that Ricky Thornton Jr. was robbed of the championship last year with the previous format that this championship chase had in place. The chase was altered. We're going to talk about what has been altered, how that's going to play out in today's video. But I feel like most people agree that everybody feels like Ricky Thornton Jr. was robbed last year of the championship. Now, of course, the defending champion is not even racing, Hudson O'Neal. Full circle. You know, Hudson O'Neal won the championship that should have been Ricky's last year. And then this year, Ricky's on a tear. Hudson O'Neal comes in, not only took his championship last year, takes his ride this year. And then on the last race, full circle, Hudson O'Neal's in the championship chase this year, and then all hell goes to ride. The rain comes falling down from the sky, or the sprinkles. They do a caution, they do a go, they do a stop, they do a yes, and then whatever happens, Hudson O'Neal falls out of the race at Knoxville, and Jonathan Davenport, Devin Moran, Ricky Thornton Jr., and Tim McCreadie, T-Mac Tim McCreadie, moves into the fourth and final transfer position into this championship chase. And we're going to be talking about T-Mac Tim McCreadie as well. Anyways, you scroll down here, it has a little bit of some detail on this championship, a little bit of the changes that are happening in the championship chase for 2024. It is now a 7-race series. The points are 5770.4321. So really no separation at all in the championship points. They are reset, technically. The 7-race chase towards the championship begins on September 27th and 28th. That is this weekend at Brownstown, followed by an October 1st date at Atomic. That's Chillicothe. October 4th and 5th at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. Big half mile in Imperial, Pennsylvania, right there on the border of Ohio. October 12th, it's only one race at East Bay, this grand finale, $50,000 to win. It is only the finale that is going to count towards this championship according to this event, or this article here. So October 12th at East Bay Raceway Park, October 10th and 11th are prelims. It puts those in parentheses. So obviously you have 1, 2 at Brownstown, 3 at Atomic, 4, 5 at Pittsburgh, 6 at East Bay, 7th on the final day of the Dirt Track World Championships as well. Only one event counting. So those are your 7 dates. So there is some stats that are on Flow. Flow did a nice little breakdown of the championship on their website. These are stats, but stats don't always, they're not always, in my opinion, the best predictors. There's too much going on, especially in this season where you have Tim McCreadie in the rocket car. You have the switch with Ricky Thornton Jr. In the SSI car. So we're just going to go by or down each driver and tell you what I think and what I think they can do. Obviously, we got Ricky Thornton Jr.'s little website here, and they missed the SSI Motorsports car so much, they still got it on the damn website. This guy likes to win. This Ricky Thornton Jr. likes to win. Now, out of the 4 drivers that are coming into this, personally, I think I would rank Ricky Thornton Jr. in 4th right now. And that hurts my feelings. Obviously, we opened the show talking about this SSI Motorsports car and the situation with Hudson O'Neal, but it did change things. Ricky Thornton Jr. has yet to win, from my recollection. It's not that great, but I think I'm accurate on this. Ricky Thornton Jr. has yet to win in the Kohler Motorsports car. He's just missing that edge. Now, he did win in Kevin Rumley's number 6 right out of the gate, but that's Kevin Rumley. There are just a few guys. Everybody can kind of be in that 98, 99% range with just general knowledge, assistance from shock manufacturers and chassis manufacturers and this guy and that guy, general knowledge of late model racing and the tricks to do with the cars to make them be a top 5 or top 10 car. But then there's that little 1 percentile up there. Mentally. There's that little bitty 1 percentile. Up there you find Kevin Rumley. Up there you find the people involved at SSI Motorsports. Up there you find the Pierce operation. Up there you find the Davenports and their little tricks of their trades. Up there you find Mark Richards and their ideas that they're trying to do with Rocket just to keep up with these damn Longhorns. So, I mean, Ricky Thornton Jr. had that 1 percentile on his side in that SSI car. He personally, crew chief-wise, setup-wise, throughout the night-wise, whatever it is that makes that 1% a 1 percenter, he doesn't have that 1% anymore on his side. So he's working in the 99 percentile range trying to get to that 1%. And when you don't have that 1% and you're racing on Lucas Oil level and at the top levels of super late model racing, this ain't MLRA, this ain't Summer Nationals. You see Tyler Erb, he went off to Summer Nationals, because he ain't got the 1%. I'm just saying, that's just an example. Ricky Thornton Jr. could probably go off and win on some of these other events, but he's not doing that. He's up against the best of the damn best. And when you ain't got that 1% on your side, it's almost impossible. Even if you are Ricky Thornton Jr., you can't win a race. And I know that has to frustrate him. And out of these 4 guys right now, Jonathan Davenport, Devin Moran, Tim McCreadie, he's at the bottom of that ranking. Ricky Thornton Jr. is at the bottom of that ranking. He's going up against the 1 percenters. All those other 3 other teams, they got 1 percenters on the side. He don't. Now, obviously, he's got Chris Madden, who was a 1 percenter, but this game always changes. Chris Madden is great on the racetrack mentally as well. But he fell away. Are we going to deny? Is this not a fair statement? Chris Madden fell away from that 1 percentile range. He didn't keep up. It's hard to be keeping up in the 1% too. Very, very hard and difficult, no matter how much you try. And I believe Chris Madden tried as hard as he could. Obviously has personal issues going on and stuff like that. But even prior to that, Chris Madden was not in that 1 percentile range. He had fallen off from it. So right now, Ricky Thornton Jr. to me is the underdog, believe it or not. And everything that I'm discussing and describing right now should lean towards that as well. Some could say Tim McCreadie, but Tim McCreadie's coming along strong, in fact. Now, out of everybody right now, the versatility and the skewed bodies of sorts, to me, the favorite to win it is Devin Moran. This is one of the more consistent cars of the season that I have viewed. He's always up front. He's always a contender. He's always running consistent. He never seems to have anything truly go wrong. I mean, the flat tire scenarios usually don't happen with this guy. He always has just a smooth night. If it's not a domination or a win, it's always smooth. It's always there, but he's always got the speed at some point of the race to contend for the win, it seems like. And these tracks, going to Ohio, Atomic, Pittsburgh, East Bay. He likes East Bay. He's always ran well down there. Eldora. I mean, to me, Devin Moran's the favorite going into this situation. I just see more consistent speed from Devin Moran than the other 4 or 3 drivers that is on the list. Now, that could change. Obviously, Davenport can get hot and just look like one of the most dominant cars to ever walk the planet and look like Superman, and everybody else is just normal. But to me, Devin Moran right now is the favorite going into this. To me. I think the track suit his style. He doesn't really have a track that doesn't suit his style. It just seems like he works everywhere he goes. The team is gelled well. They've had a conglomerate time to be together and had very good success. I just don't see any negative. I don't see anything that is hindrant in picking or seeing Devin Moran as the favorite. I just think that this is the guy that everyone's going to have to worry about in these next 7 races. Now, obviously, some people would combat and say that Jonathan Davenport is the favorite, but the son of a bitch has called Knoxville Raceway a dump. He's probably, like I said in my other video, more than likely jealous that the Sprint Car Hall of Fame is this enshrined monument and the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame is a pole barn, and maybe there's a hint of jealousy towards sprint car racing, and that's why he's so mean to Knoxville Raceway, and he doesn't criticize all these other tracks that end up being one-lane bum shitholes. It's only Knoxville. Just point them out. So I have to have a little angst against Jonathan just because he said that about Knoxville Raceway. I am a sprint car guy anyways. Let's go, Wade. You know, I'm just kidding. But no, I like Jonathan Davenport a lot. Have had good conversations with him on and off camera. Not much, because I ain't been around the late model racing scene as prevalent. And I do have some people I favor when I go there. Of course, Boom Briggs, you know, that's one of the favorite guys. You know, Bush Lattes, evening, noon, and night. But once again, Jonathan Davenport can be Jonathan Davenport. I just feel like this year, even though we've seen flashes of Superman, I feel like this year, just generalistically, we haven't seen the Kate fly much. You know, it's like Clark Kent's been around more often in 2024 for Jonathan. You know, even the World 100 was a great example of what I'm talking about. Put all that time on the field, you know, opening night. And then come Saturday, when it's all there, I mean, yeah, he's there. But he ain't that. He ain't Superman. He you know, the glasses are on. He's more Clark Kent. And I feel like that's kind of been the season for Davenport. Now, let me tell you, to say that he's not favored over Devin Moran is potentially shocking for a lot. But I just don't see it, guys. I just don't see it. I mean, there is potential Jonathan Davenport can just slap these guys around like they're not even there. You know, he's right there behind Devin Moran. Him and Devin Moran are like this to me. They're kind of obvious choices of consistent, running well. I think Devin Moran's been a little bit more consistent, as I've explained. But then, once again, I just don't see, I don't know, maybe it's the confidence of a JD. And maybe even when he put all that time on the field at Eldora, he didn't even have the confidence to like his race car. Maybe it's just never enough for him. Anyway, maybe it's just never enough, never satisfied. Our final driver here is Tim McCreadie. And what do we say about T-Mac Tim McCreadie, Mr. Consistency, multi-time series champion? The combination with Mark Richards obviously has stayed together. A very pioneering-based commitment level between Tim McCreadie and Mark Richards to push through this season throughout the woes. And has shown good, let's be honest, Tim McCreadie has shown good speed as of late. It hasn't been Paler Motorsports and Tim McCreadie, you know, put it down on the field great. They did win the Topless 100 at Batesville. They struggled to get that one, but they got it done. They persevered to that win, that 50K. But we have seen some good consistency from Tim McCreadie recently. And they are going to Brownstown. Short little track. That dirt there seems to like Rocket. See, this is, once again, this is back to one percenter. This is the one percenter chassis. You know, Rocket doing all it can to keep up with this Longhorn scenario. I still think that that's a real thing. But they're kind of the little team here. I think that T-Mac will run well at Brownstown, even though the results ain't there for Pittsburgh Motor Speedway. I feel like those style of tracks suit a Tim McCreadie a little bit. I don't know if that's just me thinking he grew up on big block tracks, 5/8 miles and fairgrounds and all this stuff, and has a little bit more big track ability, because obviously you can get it done on the short tracks as well. Batesville's not necessarily a huge track, but Batesville and Atomic, very similar styles of racetracks. Obviously, Atomic a little more high banked, slightly shorter, but he can perform well there. And then East Bay. Let's face it, guys. Down there in East Bay, Rockets. Me personally, or let's just say Longhorns, haven't always been the best. It has to get to that final night. Maybe that final night will make the huge difference there. I don't know. We'll see. That East Bay date is a curveball for a lot of people. And then Eldora, who knows what's going to happen there? I think all four of these drivers are are performing well at Eldora. I would say that, Davenport and McCreadie definitely have the more extensive resume at those tracks. So you would maybe give the edge to them. But Tim McCreadie and this Mark Richards deal is interesting. Because this is back to where I was saying stats versus everything else that's going on. And let's just be honest about the shit. Everybody and their mama is whispering, Facebook posting, tweeting, TikToking, Snapchatting that Tim McCreadie's out of this car next year and Brandon Sheppard's going there. Everybody is saying this. And to act like Tim McCreadie and Mark Richards don't know that everybody is saying this is idiotic. And to potentially, I don't know who would say this, to potentially act like if this is a possibility and is going to happen, that they both don't already know that is going to happen, is idiotic as well. Are these just rumors? It does make sense. Brandon Sheppard and Rocket reuniting, it would be like Ricky Thornton and SSI reuniting, although the split was definitely a lot worse. But the combination of Brandon Sheppard and this one car with Mark Richards was a very successful combo. Brandon Sheppard going off and trying the Longhorn scenario did not pan out the best. Obviously, Mark Richards going the Hudson O'Neal route didn't end up being the best. It did win a championship, but once again, that was Ricky Thornton Jr.'s championship. It wasn't a bad combo, I'm just saying. I think most people would agree that Brandon Sheppard and the Rocket 1 car was one of the best combinations in recent memory in dirt late model racing. So what I mean by that is you got these two, we want to call them both wily veterans, although Mark Richards is a little bit more of a veteran than Tim McCreadie. But these old wily veterans of this sport, let's just say they don't know, or maybe this isn't an agreement where Brandon's coming back and they're hearing all this buzz around everybody. And let's just say it is happening. Tim McCreadie knows it's happening. What better way to slap everybody around on the way out from this Rocket 1 car than to take it and win the damn championship with it? They've had a year to gel. Speed's been up. Consistency's been up. Been relatively mistake-free. And they're going to some decent tracks that they have some laps on, individualistically. And Eldora, this will be what, the third or fourth go-around for the year with this combination of McCreadie and Richards, if we're counting the flow nights or whatever. So this is a potential wild card of the scenario. I would still put him above Ricky Thornton Jr. I think that Tim McCreadie and Mark Richards has had generally more success than Kohler Motorsports and Ricky Thornton Jr. And personally, if I was to pick a driver to win the 2024 Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Championship, Tim McCreadie would be my pick. Just because it's the ultimate, shine it up real nice, turn it sideways, and stick it up all you youngins' candy's asses. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, put it in the comments with what you think. That's just what I think. It doesn't have to be 100% right or wrong. But stay tuned for some shows about this as this championship chase goes along. I don't mind a chase. I definitely think in the competitive world of late model racing, between the two championships, to make championships matter more than the big event wins, I think you got to mix it up. And I think they're not doing necessarily a bad job of it over there in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. I wouldn't be surprised, especially with High Limit bringing over a charter system already to sprint car racing, if they wouldn't consider some similar style chase system soon as well. I mean, how much more exciting would the High Limit Sprint Car Series be right now if they would have reset points after Chico and at least spiced it up a little bit? Although, I would assume we won't see anything like that until those charter teams are locked in, which would be the beginning of 2026. At the end of this year, obviously, 5 are going to lock in. At the end of next year, another 5, and you'll have your 10 chartered teams, and then you can do whatever you want with the series. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. My pick is Tim McCreadie. I'm doing that with my heart. My brain says Devin Moran. And I don't want to say if God is real, because whatever happens is God's plan, but somehow Ricky Thornton Jr. can figure it out. I mean, come on. That would be great as well. But I just don't see it. I see them ranked as the lowest team on the list right now between these 4. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, like the video, comment below, share it around, and as always, be sure to subscribe. We will catch you next time.
This is how we ride. This is how we do.